Hi guys! Welcome to Serious English. My name is Antonia Romaker and today we're going to discuss the difference between who and whom. They are both used to make questions, to ask questions and introduce relative clauses. We'll have loads of examples so that it would be 100% clear to you. Anyway, let's start with who. Who is used to ask questions about people. So it is used as an interrogative pronoun. Examples. Who made this cheesecake? So I ask a question about a person. Who made this cheesecake? Notice that who in this sentence is the subject. And that's why we don't need inversion. We do not say who did make or something like that. Who is next? Who did you talk to? And here, who is the object of the sentence rather than the subject. And that's why we have inversion here, because the subject is you. Who did you talk to? So, who can be the subject or the object. But anyway, we ask questions about people. We also use who when we create indirect questions or statements. So questions which appear within other questions or other sentences, other statements. Can you tell me who I should talk to? It is a question, because can you tell me? And there is another question within who I should talk to. Notice that here in the second part of the sentence, who I should talk to, there is no inversion. Well, the rule is that in indirect questions, we don't need inversion. So that's why if we separately ask, who should I talk to, there is inversion. But if we put the question within another sentence, statement or a question, then the inversion disappears. And we say, can you tell me who I should talk to? She asked me, who made this cheesecake? A question within a statement. She asked me, who made this cheesecake? We also use who to introduce relative clauses about people once again. This case, who is a relative pronoun. The girl who is hugging him is not his sister. Once again, here, who is the subject within this sentence. The girl who he is talking to is not his sister. And here, who is not the subject, it is the object. It is possible also in relative clauses. And notice the word order. The word order is always direct, no inversion, in relative clauses. The girl who is hugging him is not his sister. The girl who he is talking to is not his sister. As for whom, it is the object form of who. As I have already pointed out several times, who can be the subject within its own clause or the object. So when it is the object, we can substitute it with whom, especially in formal styles and in writing. As for speaking, whom is not very common. It's used not very often, even in writing, to tell the truth. Anyway, but it should always be the object, not the subject. It is quite common with prepositions. Let's take a look at several examples. Tell me for whom you buy this present. For whom. There is a preposition for, and we use whom. And whom here is not the subject. For whom you buy. You buy. You do something. That's why you are the subject within this clause. And whom is the object. That's why it is possible to say whom here instead of who. Who is also possible. But with prepositions, in writing, in formal styles, whom is a little bit more common. The next example. Millions of people are waiting for a new book about Harry Potter, many of whom are adults. Here, whom is a part of the subject, but it is within another phrase. And that's why after many of, we use whom. It is possible. Whom are you going to invite? You are going to invite someone. You are the subject of the sentence. And whom are just people who you invite. So they are the object of the sentence. That's why whom is possible. But to tell the truth, in usual questions, whom is not that common. It is even less common. It is more common in relative clauses and indirect questions. Let's take a look at a couple of more examples. Another example would be, millions of people are waiting for a new book about Harry Potter, who is the main character of books by J.K. Rowling. Here, who is the main character? We can't say whom. Who is the subject within this sentence, and it is used alone, not within the phrase. As I have already mentioned, we can use whom in indirect questions and relative clauses too, when it is the object within its own clause. He didn't ask me for whom I had voted. Here I want to consider one more interesting aspect. When we use whom with prepositions, we rarely leave the preposition hanging at the end of the sentence as we do with who. So for example, here we can say, he didn't ask me who I had voted for. It is very common when we use who with prepositions to leave the preposition at the end of the sentence. But when we use whom, it's not very common to put the preposition at the end. Usually it goes before whom. So we say, he didn't ask me for whom I had voted. In relative clauses, she met a man whom she married 2 months later. She married him. She did the action. She is the subject of the sentence. And whom is the object. That's why whom is possible here instead of who. So, the general information we need to memorize here is that who can be used everywhere. Doesn't matter the subject, the object, and it can be used in questions, in direct questions and statements, and relative clauses, everywhere. As for whom, it can also be used everywhere, but only when it is the object within the clause, within the sentence. So be careful. Okay, I hope that now it is clear to you when we use who and when we use whom. If you have any questions, if there are still some vague areas you do not quite understand, write a comment. I will try to answer as soon as possible. Also, like this video if you actually liked it, so press the button, share it, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to continue studying English with me, and I hope to see you soon. Happy English and Russian practice. Bye-bye.